If you love Winston Cup racing,
you got to read Winston Cup Scene.
Welcome to the Scene Vault Podcast, your source for all things NASCAR history.
But in that moment, all I wanted to do was hit that man in the face.
When people thought I was scared, when in fact I was just educated.
Welcome in here, ladies and gentlemen, tonight at the Bristol, Tennessee. It's Bristol, the Motor Speedway. It's where they say the last great Coliseum is, where the gladiators come to battle it out. Tonight, the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series is back in action. They kind of dusted off the old dust covers. They got the Gander Outdoor trucks out here tonight, as you see it. Right now, 30 drivers have entered into the lobby. But, man, Al, as always, here on Monday night next to me, Al, it's me from the booth and Al here. You know, Al, I'm just so excited. We talked about this last week, right, when we went off the air about this race.
Yeah, very exciting. Couldn't wait all night long to take and uncork the trucks here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for some high bank, short track, high octane racing, and is being brought to you by the Scene Vault here tonight. Turn 3 Racing Network for the Red Light Scrambler Series. Coming into tonight, well, last week the hot streak ended for Tim Blum, but still probably one of the hottest drivers on the circuit is Tim Blum in that number 10 truck. But tonight, 30 competitors going to try to conquer, to pull the sword out of the stone here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to do it. Last night in the practice race, a lot of strong competition. I heard there was only one caution flag, Al, actually here. So we're going to have to see if these boys are able to do it once again here at Bristol. You know, it's not one of those rare occasions that the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series doesn't go green to checkered. I think they could possibly do it right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Well, that's coming up here in just a little bit. But we got to thank tonight's sponsor of this event, the Scene Vault Podcast. You can find them. Just type in the Scene Vault Podcast over on Google. They are and were the leading source of NASCAR news, featured from the first issue back in 1977 all the way to 2009. Now it's a podcast hosted by Rick Houston, who is a longtime writer for the NASCAR Winston Cup scene, and his former boss, Steve Ward, last year's recipient of the Ken Squire Award of Excellence in the NASCAR media. I mean, Al, what more can you say other than it's one of those special accomplishments if you're a recipient of the Squire Hall Award?
Yeah, just a very prestigious award, and glad to see them guys coming on board here tonight. Great podcast. I've listened to a few of the episodes today myself to get familiar, and it's amazing just the amount of in-depth and the knowledge that they know. I mean, they were in the paper business. We were used to get it mailed to the house from 1977 when the first paper was published, all the way through 2009. And now it's great that, that are on the digital platform, bringing you all the latest news and telling some old stories. It's great to hear, what it was like back then compared to what it is today. And it's they do a great job, and I'm very proud to have them here tonight. But I believe it is time to head down trackside for tonight's invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in air, gave proof
Welcome back here, race fans, to Bristol, as qualifying, you can see, has already started. Richard Murdoch on the loud pedal here with his Adventure in Pixels Machine 01 here tonight out of the Full Throttle Racing team. Al, last time we came to Bristol last season, it may have been the Cup car, but Murdoch got it done.
Yeah, picked up the last time that the Red Light Scrambler Series came here. Right now, he slots into your 4th spot in qualifying. James Skelton in car number 86, or truck number 86 here tonight, as we are in the Gander Truck Series trucks here, the Toyotas and the Silverados doing battle. So right now, the all Toyota front row with James Skelton and Michael Trevarthen on the front row so far. Early on in qualifying right now, Cody Levitt in the 938 out on the racetrack, laying down his first lap here as he takes the green.
As he takes the green, another driver out there on track will be the driver of the 948. It's the draft top entry of Michael Bromley. He is 9th on the speed charts. Al, I got a nice care package this week from the driver of the 948. I got a Bohica Esports shirt, Michael Bromley car on the back, draft top sponsorship. Who else is on here? Farmhouse Brewing also on this t-shirt. So I got to give a huge shout out to the whole Bohica Esports team and Michael Bromley for hooking me up with some apparel over here. Anybody looking for any draft tops or even Bohica Esports gear, hit up Michael Bromley. They put some good quality stuff together. But another one of those drivers out there on track, it's the ALS Association, Robert Dudley in his Mercury 49. Let's see where he can slot this Toyota in tonight on the board. I'm looking at that Dudley machine now. It looks like he may have got into the wall on lap number 1, so lap number 2 is only going to be the counted lap for Robert Dudley, but he's got a whole race coming up here that he can work himself through the field.
He definitely can. Right now, the number 10 Scene Vault, number 10, that's Tim Blum. He is put on the green flag. He comes down the backstretch. Quick laps here, under 15 seconds is your current pole sitter with a 14.915. Blum will come off turn number 4. He'll slot in. Let's see where the 10 will go. He'll go to number 2 on the board. 14.924, just 1.009 off of your pole speed as he completes lap number 2 with his Scene Vault number 10. Let's see if he goes any quicker, and he does not. So right now, James Skelton out there is your pole sitter in car number 86. Tim Blum slots into your number 2 spot as Max Stereo in that number 42 is out on the racetrack trying to put his lap in to see where he'll qualify. He'll jump up to your pole. New quick time for Max Stereo.
And man, Al, I know you've been waiting a long time to be able to yell out quick time. And it is Max Stereo, the Storm from the north here tonight, going to the top of the leaderboards.
Good qualifying session going on right now. 20 of the 30 drivers have taken time so far. 200 laps in store here tonight with just a minute left in qualifying. So drivers not yet climbing aboard their trucks are Joe Strano, Donald Bennett, Josiah Millen, Dustin Gainey, Bruce Potter, Leo Bordage, and Kyle Souza. Not taking time right now. So everybody right now, Max Stereo, James Skelton in your front row.
Yeah, Al, while we have a chance here under our qualifying session, let's see if we can grab a quick word in with the driver that is out there driving a brand new sponsored Silverado. It's the number 10 here of Tim Blum. Tim, you got a copy? It's Muth and Al up here in the booth.
Yeah, guys, how we doing?
Well, we were doing good. We were looking at that beautiful brand new paint scheme. Why don't you tell us about it here for Bristol?
Yeah, I got painted up in the Scene Vault colors. It's a podcast that's out there. I think it rivals any of the NASCAR podcasts you listen to, whether it's Door Bumper Clear or Dale Jr.'s podcast. It's got a lot of history, got a lot of cool content, a lot of drivers. If you're wondering how they're doing, they're the guys to check out. They'll tell you, they'll probably have a show or an episode about them.
Yeah, they have some pretty amazing episodes. We did tune into the other one the other night, but as we're getting ready to grid here, Tim, we got to thank you for getting in contact with the Scene Vault and all those guys over there, and good luck with that Scene Vault Silverado here tonight.
Thanks, guys. Y'all enjoy.
There you heard it from the man who put this all together. He's going to start here inside the top 5, but let's get you Scene Vault Podcast 200. This is how they're going to line up. On the front row, it'll be Max Terriot in that 42 machine. And to his outside, it'll be the driver out of South Carolina. It'll be the 86 of James Skelton. Behind them, it'll be the Scene Vault number 10 of Tim Blum. And the 31 of Michael Trevarthen. Row 3, it'll be the Barstool Sports number 20 of Brandon Minto. And I believe it's the Ream 62 of Ethan Troutman tonight. Row 4, it'll be the Dirty Mo Radio, the 33 of Eric Johnson, and the Bully Dog out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It'll be Nathan Maurer in the 71. Row 5, it'll be the 3 of Tony Strano and the Scene Vault number 2 of Josh Buckley.
Starting on the inside of row number 6 will be the Hooters number 88. That's Sean Butler. To his outside is the 01 of Richard Murdoch. He won last season here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Can he do it this year in the truck? Starting on the inside of row number 7 will be the 84 of Christopher Rothrock. His outside, the 938 of Cody Levitt. DJ Anderson will start on the inside of row number 8 in that number 51 truck. That is outside the Con Coolers, Bohica Motorsports, number 29. That's Ira Kohlhaas. Brian O'Danny in car number 98 will start on the inside of row number 9. To his outside, the draft top 948. That's Michael Bromley. Starting on the inside of row number 10, the ALS car number 49. That's Robert Dudley. To his outside, the Bruzy Sportswear number 35 of Cameron Hearn.
Starting on row number 11, it'll be the driver of the number 4. Look for this short track driver to come through the field. It'll be the 4 of Kyle Souza. Starting in row 11 also will be the 11 of Leo Bordage in his Pepsi Cola machine. Row 12, it'll be Dustin Gainey in the 915. And to his outside, it's going to be the Wild Bruce Potter in the 59 entry tonight. Row 13, it'll be the driver out of Topton, Pennsylvania. It'll be Josiah Millen in the 940. And Joe Strano in his Green Forest Tree Supply entry here tonight. And I believe rounding out the field, it'll be another driver out of the Bohica Esports stable. It'll be another one of those Topton, Pennsylvania guys. That'll be Donald Bennett in the 913. Well, Al, I hope you brought your excitement chair out here tonight, because these boys are about to go green flag racing here at the last great Coliseum at Bristol.
I didn't even bring it. I left it home because I don't plan on sitting down here tonight. 200 laps, the Scene Vault 200, getting ready to go green here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. The truck goes down pit road. That leaves the field in Max Terriot's hand. Green flag is out. We're underway for the first time here tonight. Green flag for the Scene Vault 200.
Down to turn number 1, it is going to be the driver of the 42. It is Max Terriot, and he's going to explode out of turn number 2. One of them up the track, I believe that was the 948 of Michael Bromley. Lap number 1 about to be complete. It'll be led by Max Terriot.
Terriot going to run that high side line right there in front of the Skittles machine. The 86 of Skelton is the Scene Vault number 10 of Tim Blum. That's your top 3s. They work around the speedway. Trevarthen and Minto rounding out your top 5. Here they all single filed out, running the high side to the middle of this racetrack.
Yeah, watching the 71 here of Nathan Maurer, it looks like Troutman was able to get around into the inside just a moment ago, and now Maurer is trying to hold off Tony Strano. Strano said this was one of the races that he was looking forward to, but so was Nathan Maurer. I had a pre-race talk with the Maurer entry. He said this was the race that he was going to go up. He was going to battle James Skelton and Max Terriot for the win here tonight, and he doesn't care what it's going to take. He is going to park the Bully Dog machine here in victory lane one way or another.
Battle shaping up here back in the 13th position. Christopher Rothrock working that low line. He's now got DJ Anderson with that Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Number 51 to his outside. Right behind him is number, looks like the 938. That will be Cody Levitt. He's working the outside of the speedway. So side-by-side battles. Working back here deeper in the field. Levitt now going to get around the outside of Rothrock, and he's got Ira Kohlhaas trying to get up there to keep Rothrock pinned down.
Yeah, that's one of those Bohica Esports drivers, but look who's buried way back here in the field. You notice that you see the 35, that's the Abruzzi Sportswear entry. That is Cameron Hearn. This is probably the farthest back all season Cameron Hearn has had to start, as he did not have a good qualifying attempt here at Bristol. So right now, Hearn is running back here in the 17th spot. Right behind him, it's the slice of the 80s, 98 of Ryan O'Danny. To the inside of him, it is Dustin Gainey and his Dr. Pepper machine Chick-fil-A entry. They will sort things out, and it's going to be Gainey as now here comes Leo Bordage. So Ryan O'Danny going to lose 2 positions, 1 lap behind him. Michael Bromley runs currently right now in that 21st position all by himself here tonight.
Yeah, one driver already having trouble. Unfortunately, it's the 59 Bruce Potter. He has made contact with the outside retaining wall. He is down on pit road getting that truck fixed here and going down multiple laps here. Not very good feeling when you have to be on pit road while green flag racing is underway, but they're out front by 0.3 of a second over Skelton as the battle rages on. And now it looks like the 0-1 of Murdoch trying to getting worked on by the number 88 of Sean Butler for your 11th and 12th position.
Yeah, but that kind of fizzled out real quick because Sean Butler slipped, and that allowed Tony Strano to get right there. As now Strano is going to lose a little ground. Here comes DJ Anderson, hot off his great run last week. As you see, Strano still continue to have a little bit of handling issues on that number 3. He is going in the wrong direction. Now finds himself down on the bottom. Here comes Cody Levitt out of Las Vegas. He'll take the 13th spot here on lap number 13. So maybe the 13 is the lucky number in Las Vegas here tonight, as Levitt actually has a little bit of a blink. And now he is back in that Hooters 938.
Side-by-side battle right behind them, the number 29 Ira Kohlhaas, the Con Coolers entry, working the high side of the speedway. Cameron Hearn working the bottom. They're side-by-side still. They've been battling like this for the last 4 or 5 laps. It'll be Kohlhaas with the advantage, and now it'll be the 35 of Hearn. Side-by-side, Hearn will get by him now, so Cameron Hearn in that Abruzzi race where number 35 Toyota Tundra is making his way forward as they work around now. They'll have one car lower. It is the Bennett Mobile down on the bottom of the speedway, so everything's starting to stretch out. But up front, Skelton is starting to close in Ontario.
Yeah, it's only, contact between James Skelton and Max Theriault. It's going to send Theriault down to the inside. Caution flag number 1 here tonight going to come out as Max Theriault gets tagged by James Skelton. That's going to bring out the first caution flag here of the night. So caution flag number 1 here in the Scene Vault Podcast 200 tonight for the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. They're going to come out. Now these boys are going to have some interesting strategies here. Let's throw it back here on the truck real quick, and let's see if we can catch this. You already see Theriault there sideways. We're going to have to throw it back just a little bit farther. Here it is, coming into the corner. There you see the ALS 49 of Robert Dudley to the outside. Here comes the Skittles entry of Skelton. And there you see the contact in the center of the corner. Theriault going to go around, and he is going to lose a ton of track position. I believe now has been fallen all the way to about the 13th position.
Yeah, just tough break trying to work underneath Dudley in that 49 car, getting the back bumper tagged by the Skittles of Skelton, who has elected to stay out on the racetrack along with 5 other trucks for some track position. But we are 18 laps into a cycle. We know that roughly around 60 to 65 laps is going to be the time run where they can race on the racetrack without a fuel tank of fuel. So they cannot make it the rest of the way, but this will definitely set some of them up as they race off pit road. But they'll be Skelton is your race leader after contact with the 42 Ethereal.
Well, when this all shakes through, it's going to be interesting to see if James Skelton's going to be able to stay out here or if that may have been a mistake, because with 180 laps to go, looking at it, it looks like Josh Buckley, who's now going to find himself right there in his Scene Vault Podcast, Turn 3 Racing Need for Speed Motorsports entry. He'll be running second with 2 tires. DJ Anderson also going to play the same strategy. He's going to take 2 tires. Then it's going to be Michael Trevarthen back here in the Hoonigan Monster Energy, the IRAPS 31. He runs fourth with 4 tires, and everybody on back through. Brandon Minto, Eric Johnson, Ethan Troutman, Nathan Maurer, Richard Murdoch, Sean Butler rounding out the top 10. They all have 4 tires. Where is Max Theriault, though? He is back into the 11th spot after those yellow flag pit stops, after he got turned around out of the lead here tonight. So we'll see if he's able to work his way back up into the action at the front of the field.
What a great start to the race. Action-packed all the way around the speedway, and it did not take them long to catch the back of the field, which led to this first caution there. Matt Theriault trying to be methodical around the way he was going to work lap traffic, and just one little hiccup there. But I don't think he'll stay back there too long. What do you think about that one, Roger?
Oh, I don't think so, especially when you have somebody out there watching. We got to give a huge shout out once again to the Scene Vault podcast for coming on board here for the race here at Bristol. It is the Scene Vault Podcast 200. They have all your racing news weekly over there on the Scene Vault. Check them out. Tell them that Tim Blum and the Red Light Racing Series sent you their way. But Al, I believe it's just about time to go back to racing.
Yeah, Chevy Chase going to pull that Silverado down on the pit road. Celebrity driving that here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway as we celebrate the return of NASCAR. Kicking it off here with the Red Light Scrambler Series here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
So it'll be Skelton, then it'll be Buckley, Anderson, Trevarth in your front two rows as the iRacing pace truck will dive in this time by, and we will go back to the green flag racing here. It's going to be 178 more laps to go here in the Scene Vault 200, and we are back to racing, and not a good start by James Skelton on the inside.
Looked like he possibly has spun the tires. That's going to allow Buckley with the Scene Vault number 2 to work the outside. And here comes the number 86, so Skelton on the inside, but he'll get passed by Trevarth. And here comes that Dirty Mo Radio, 33 of Johnson. He's also working the outside, so now Skelton pinned down on the inside and going in the wrong direction. He'll slide from first to fourth in a matter of 2 laps.
Yeah, he's got some nose damage also on that Toyota Tundra here. We'll see if that's going to play any havoc on the heating, as it is a rather cool night here at Bristol. It is 81 degrees down on the track temp. Air temp is 76 degrees. See how the concrete pavement radiates the heat at Bristol. Only a quarter of laps put in here, and now here comes Nathan Maurer. Remember, pre-race he said he was going to come to the front one way or another. Now he finds the Bully Dog machine running in P number 5, and that inside lane as we continue to watch James Skelton. It is just not the place to be here tonight at Bristol as he is falling backwards, but he is not the only one stuck down to the inside. The 62 of Troutman is also down there, but he's got 4 fresh tires, and he's actually coming to the front.
Yeah, he's got that momentum, and the yellow flag is out. Big pile up down in the turn number 3. It looks like the number 913 of Donald Bennett might have been involved. Definitely Joe Strano and Michael Bromley involved down at turn number 3 to bring out our second caution of the evening.
Well, that draft top entry here tonight of Michael Bromley looking pretty wounded. We will throw it back here on the replay real quick and see if we can find out what happened with... Oh, it looks like Cole Haas and Joe Strano made contact. And look at Cole Haas. He flips the Colin Coolers entry, and then he is able to carry on, but Michael Bromley gets involved in that. We'll throw it back here once again. See if we can follow Cole Haas right there in the Colin Coolers, Bohemia Esports. You see Strano, it looks like Strano maybe got just a little bit loose. Cole Haas went for the flip. Joe Strano winds up down here on the inside with heavy, heavy damage to the Green Forest Tree Supply entry. Let's watch it back one more time if we can. And there you go. You're watching those two machines there. The chromed out black and silver Cole Haas entry and the 43 of Joe Strano. Bromley right behind them. There you see the contact. It's just tight quarters racing. Robert Dudley going to lose control of his ALS entry. He goes up and tags the outside wall there also. Looks like Millen and Bennett both actually going to be able to woe their trucks up here and get stopped before they get piled into the wreck.
Yeah, very expensive wreck right there for the Bohica Esports team, having 3 of their trucks involved there. Number of drivers coming down pit road, but it looks like Bruce Potter in that 59 has taken his truck behind the wall, and Tim Blum in that number 10, the Scene Vault sponsored truck, had some issues as well as he has taken his truck behind the wall. So an early exit tonight for the 10 of Blum. Unfortunately, something going awry in that number 10 truck.
Yeah, but I have caught up, Al, with the driver of the 948 of Michael Bromley. Bromley, the draft top machine, looks pretty wounded out there, and it's just like that.
Oh, yes, Roger. It's a wounded machine out here. Got caught up in, it's Bristol. There's not much place to go. Stuff happens quick, so when it happens right in front of you, you don't have anywhere really to go. Was hoping for a better showing for the draft top Chevy Silverado here tonight, but I'm showing 35 minutes of optionals, 35 minutes of required, and then another 12 of optionals. So I'm not sure if she's going to make it back out on the track.
Yeah, that's a rough one here, Mike, at the Bristol Motor Speedway. You know, it is a very rough track as you talk about it. But talk about these brand new jumpsuits that your team has on. I believe the back of my shirt looks the same.
Yeah, tried to replicate the design of a couple T-shirts that I made just supporting Bohica, Draft Top, and Back Bay Farmhouse Brewery, and decided to replicate it here on the pit.
Bit tight there in that pit stall, and maybe we'll see the Draft Top machine back out on track.
Yep, gonna try to turn a couple at the end here.
Well, Al, you heard him say it. It is rough with the how tight this little Bristol track is.
Yeah, definitely is a tight little track. As Chevy Chase will bring the Silverado down pit road, and it'll be Buck using the outside. He'll jump on the loud pedal, and we're back underway. Trevarthen on the inside, side-by-side battle in the turn number 1. Buckley on the outside with that speed scene vault number 2 truck. He'll jump out to your race lead over to 31. Trevarthen, now Johnson in that 33 going to work to the outside, and that'll pin the 31 of Trevarthen down to the inside. One car out of shape up against the wall. Couple of trucks in trouble back there. It was like the 98 of Oldani and the 42 of Theriault possibly involved with this one as well.
So caution flag number 3 going to wave here on lap 34. A couple of them getting together down here on that restart. I believe it was the Hooters 938 of Cody Levitt and possibly the 71 of Nathan Maurer making the contact down there. Let's throw it back and see what she tells us on the old-fashioned replay machine. There you see Levitt to the outside in the Hooters entry. Oh, it looks like a lot of net behind him. Ryan O'Dani kind of got jacked up in the slice of the 80s. We'll see if we can follow back. And this is Ryan O'Dani. You're watching the slice of the 80s, the green machine there. Oh, it looks like Max Theriault was sideways. And Al, I'm not sure if you're noticing it, but I'm seeing a ton of net code here tonight at Bristol.
Yeah, there seems to be a big gap between that with that wreck there. So, unfortunately, with the net code, it's kind of out of the racer's hand. You just got to keep that in mind that you can't get up too close and lean on them. It's been kind of an issue here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for a little bit of some time. So it's not very surprising to myself that they were having some issues, but these drivers, they'll get it sorted out here and put on a good show like they always do with the Red Light Scrambler series. Nothing that anybody's doing wrong there because, as you can see on the Turn 3 replay here, there is space between the trucks, and they shouldn't have made contact, but unfortunately they just did.
They did. While we have this quick break here, we'll be right back here. It's the Bristol Motor Speedway for the Scene Vault Podcast 200.
If you love Winston Cup racing,
You got to read Winston Cup Scene.
And welcome to the Scene Vault Podcast, your source for all things NASCAR history.
But in that moment, all I wanted to do was hit that man in the face.
When people thought I was scared, when in fact I was just educated.
And just like that, race fans, you didn't miss anything. Chevy Chase, as Al would say, is still out here pacing the field here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. 4 leaders so far here tonight. Max Theriault came up and led 16 laps. Josh Buckley has led 16 laps. Tim Blum led 1. And James Sketlin has led 4 here. Al, it's been a little bit of a rough start here at Bristol. And no quick repairs for a lot of these drivers, so a lot of them having to deal with damage early on.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have about 3 to 4 drivers still on pit road working on their car. One driver able to get back out on the racetrack. That was the 940 of Josiah Millen. He is back out on the racetrack after being involved with that accident, this previous yellow here before this one. I think everybody's going to be in pretty good shape that was involved with this wreck. I don't see a lot of damage, and Theriault's already back out on the racetrack, and some of them didn't even come down pit road to look at the damage. So, good thing here at Bristol is aerodynamics doesn't really come into play to the most part. So if the wheel's straight, you might as well stay on track and keep your position.
Yeah, right now looking at the timing and scoring, it looks like the top 11 going to stay out here. In the 11th place is Skelton. He came down pit road about 10 laps ago. Everybody else is 20 and 21 laps ago in front of him, and we will see how these drivers are able to fare. The iRacing pace truck lights are off. It's going to be headed down to pit road. That means we're going back to green flag. Go up. He is going to ride the middle lane through turn 1. Who is going to have the lead? Here comes Trevarthen on the bottom of his Toyota Tundra. He is going to nose ahead going into 3. He goes down and he runs the bottom here once again. Will he be able to lead the first lap back to green? It will not. Out of turn 4. Here comes the scene. Number 2 of Josh Buckley back to the lead on lap 41.
Butler working the outside of the speedway. He's now pulled even with Trevarthen down in the turn number 3. BJ Anderson and that Mountain Dew Baja Blast, number 51. He'll slide to the outside. Trevarthen stuck on the bottom of the speedway right now. Sitting there inside the top 5 for the first time tonight will be the 20 of Brandon Mintos. And look who's already up inside the top 6. It'll be the Brucey race car, number 35 of Cameron Hearn. Remember, he started deep in tonight's field. He has worked his way up inside the top 10 as they work off the corner. Trevarthen going to squeeze it inside the front of that 20 of Mintos. They'll take off in that 4th position.
Yeah, Minto being very generous there as he throws one of those Miller Lite cans out the window. He already told us he has been rocking not the Muth in the Booth koozie or the Turn 3 koozie, but he's been rocking a couple of those Miller Lites on the back of that Barstool Radio entry here tonight. He runs right now in the 5th position, but Cameron Hearn is all over the back bumper, and look who's also coming back to the front. Here comes the 86 Skittles entry Toyota. That's going to be James Skelton as he battles side by side with Cody Levitt. Levitt has a wounded Hooters 938 machine, but he's still able to wheel that machine. He runs right now at that scoring loop. He was back last time by.
Yeah, Skelton has a little bit of fresher tires than the 938 Hooters machine of Levitt. As you see him drive it in deep, he's going to try to slide up in front of Cody Levitt. The good driving right there is now the 86 of Skelton will get by him. Levitt now going to pull up in front of the 01 of Murdoch Mauer in that bully number 71. He is right there behind the battle as well. This is the battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's the 33 of Eric Johnson is pulled in here. A little bit deeper back, the 33 of Eric Johnson trying to work on Mauer is Christopher Rothrock now back up here 12th position.
Yeah, and here comes Murdoch looking to the inside now on the Hooter Chevrolet, driven by Cody Levitt out of Las Vegas. Will he be able to take the Adventure in Pixels machine around Levitt and take over the 8th spot? We've only seen a handful of drivers go down there on the bottom, and these two actually are on the same pit cycle, so they have the same tire wear, possibly. As Cody Levitt, you see a little bit of sparks off the corner there in turn number 4. He's able to keep the Hooters entry pointed in the right direction, but that's going to bring Richard Murdoch back to the inside here.
Still side by side, Murdoch working the inside underneath Levitt. They'll pull off even. Now Johnson will pull underneath Mauer for a moment. Side by side battle right there as they have him. As the 84 Rothrock sideways off the corner, he's going to collect the 3 of Strano. Christopher Rothrock has spun out and will stay green so far. No yellow flag for that one. Looks like everybody's getting back up to speed, but Rothrock got loose off of the corner.
Yeah, with Rothrock going around in his 84 entry, that's going to put him back into the 20th position, and your leader of Josh Buckley still out in front here. He has his teammate, though, of Sean Butler breathing down his neck, and he's got another one of those Need for Speed Motorsport entry. DJ Anderson right there in tow, so all 3 drivers right now inside the top 3, all teammates, and, well, I guess it's always good to have your teammate right there in line with you, but Sean Butler looking like he is the faster of the 3 right now here at Bristol on lap 55. Al, if you're teammates and you're running 1, 2, 3, do you push the envelope to try and get around, or do you just kind of run back there in line?
Well, I always like to lead laps, but if it's your teammate, you maybe be a little bit more patient with him, maybe not pressure him as much. As we're very early on in this race. We're just past the 1/4 mark of this 200 lap scene vault race here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the Red Light Scrambler series. So I don't know, I think you kind of don't push the issue, kind of ride there, protect your position, knowing that your top 3, you're all teammates working around the speedway there. But the battle is back there for your 8th, 9th through like 13th position. They have been throwing haymakers side by side. It looks like Murdoch is finally able to get around him. Now Johnson's running side by side with the 938 of Cody Levitt.
Yeah, Levitt looking like he's having a little bit of handling issues on that Hooters entry, but he is up there in the preferred line that everybody would like to have here at Bristol, but he is going to keep it right there. It's, he's going to get into the wall. He's going to get tagged by Gainey. Gainey's going to tag Cody Levitt, and that's going to spin Levitt around. Caution flag number 4 here tonight in the Scene Vault podcast. 200 going to fly here with 141 laps left to go. Levitt was just up there right in that top side, and it looks like maybe possibly getting a little bit of the old chrome horn here. He'll get it pointed back in the right direction as we throw it back here on the replay. You saw the 33 of Johnson working to the inside here of Levitt. They don't make any contact going into the corner. Let's see, it has to be coming into the next one. Johnson goes in perfectly fine. Levitt going to go up. Maybe tags the wall just a little bit, and Gainey going to come right in there and get into the back quarter panel of Cody Levitt's machine. Let's see if we can go back here and ride roll bar here with Dustin Gainey. It's the onboard Chick-fil-A camera. You see Levitt does get up into the wall, and then Gainey comes up and he makes the contact with his Silverado. So, I mean, it's just tight quarters racing out there.
Yeah, when you're stacked up in a pack like that, it's just hard. One little bobble from one of your competitors, nowhere for you really to go. And it's unfortunate that the 915 that Gainey got into the back of Levitt. Hopefully Levitt is not too wounded too bad. They're beating the back quarter panel out on that Hooters 938 on pit road. Cameron Hearn taking a 2-tire stop and filling it up with fuel to get out as your race leader off of pit road.
Yeah, he's now running third. Sean Butler is fourth. DJ Anderson is fifth. So that's how they kind of went in pit road. 1, 2, 3. They come out running 3, 4, and 5. Trevarthen is sixth. Minto is seventh. Murdoch is running in the 8th spot. Eric Johnson is 9th. And now Nathan Maurer runs into the 10th position. But how about Max Terry?
A little bit of evasive action back in the pack there. And he was your pole sitter here tonight, and has gone not his way, but the good news is we're not even to the halfway point, just about 37 laps away from the halfway point. 63 are in the books here at the Scene Vault 200 at the Bristol Motor Speedway. It's taken 63 laps, but Cameron Hearn, who started deep in tonight's race, has found himself as your race leader. And the taste of the rainbow of James Skelton, the Skittles, number 86, is running second, right where he started after a little bit of contact earlier on in this race.
Yeah, the Scene Vault machine of Buckley will restart third with his teammate of Sean Butler to his outside. Also carrying the Scene Vault colors on the back of that, Hooters Gen X Silverado, and then right behind them is DJ Anderson. You know, our hats really got to go off to DJ Anderson and all his police force buddies out there. All of them laying not only their life on the line day in and day out, but being pretty much essential during this time of need. They don't have a day off at all.
No, and we salute them. We salute all of the essential workers, anybody out there that's puts their life on the line day in, day out, regardless of the profession. We really appreciate everybody's hard work out there. Hope you're all staying safe in this time. I know up here in the Northeast, it seems like we're starting to go on the backside of the mountain of this thing. So we'll see what happens. Is Chevy Pacer is going to pull down the pit road, and it'll be Cameron Hearn stepping on the gas pedal first. He's got the 88 of Butler right behind him. As he'll pull alongside the 86 of Skelton down to the turn numbers 1 and 2.
Yeah, but it looks like it will be Cameron Hearn that's going to be able to kind of swat off the Hornet's nest for the time being, but Butler now is going to be able to pounce on James Skelton, that time out of turn number 4. Into turn 2, he just shoots right around. It looks like Skelton was trying to back up just a little bit. He was trying to get down to that outside lane, actually, as down to the inside is Buckley, and Buckley's not able to put the power down in that number 2. Now he'll find a home, running back into the 5th position.
Able to slide up and line in front of DJ Anderson was the number 2 Scene Vault number of Buckley. As he'll slide into your 5th spot. Right now, Cameron Hearn shot out of a rocket, opening up a half a second lead over Butler, who's running there. Is now Eric Johnson in that 33. Is going to take a look underneath the 20 of Mintos, but that's going to open the door for Daryl. Daryl's going to move to the outside, and that's the battle for 9th.
Yeah, look right behind, though, Max Terriol. It's the 84, Christopher Rothrock. Remember, he was, now is just outside the top 10 as he watches Terriol get around the 33 of Johnson. That'll put Max Terriol into 9th. Now here comes Christopher Rothrock trying to crack the top 10 here as they are close down into turn number 3. But it is going to be Johnson still holding his ground down on the bottom.
Yeah, Johnson able to rotate that Dirty Mo Radio 33 around the middle and bottom of the racetrack, kind of doing a diamond move where he's getting a nice run down the straightaway, kind of keeping him even with Rothrock. While this happens, the case of the 80s 98 of Old Danny starting to reel in on this battle as well, as he wants a taste of the top 10.
Yeah, but that slice of the 80s is pretty wounded, like he was partying too much back in the 80s or something. Because right now he is running back into the 12th position as everybody here so far tonight has now single filed out. Nobody side by side as you see one of the drivers, that is Donald Bennett, going another lap down. He runs 12 laps down to our race leader of Cameron Hearn. Al Hearn is just pretty much checked out in this Toyota. It is almost a second gap back to Sean Butler.
Yeah, he is checked out, trying to run away and hide as we are on working lap 75. As now Bennett looks like he'll be taking this car down on the pit road as they work around the 49 of Dudley. Gainey got around him. Now the 3 of Strano's worked around him. That's the battle back there for the 16th and 17th position.
Yeah, a lot of damage, though, on Robert Dudley's machine. Strano, though, looking a little bit better in his Silverado than Dudley is looking in that ALS 49 entry here tonight. I'm looking at Dustin Gainey. His Dr. Pepper Chick-fil-A entry has a little bit of damage, too, on the nose of the him. He runs back in that 15th position. And look where Maurer has fallen. All of a sudden, the driver of this bully dog out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, he finds himself all the way back into the 14th position. At one point, he was riding in that 4th spot, so the handling has definitely gone away on the Maurer entry.
It has. Looks like he's been struggling. He's got a little bit of right rear damage on that bully dog number 71 automotive truck. Chevy Silverado as he works around the speedway up front. Danny's getting pressure by the FedEx package of boardage. That's the battle right there in front of Nathan Maurer. That's the battle for 12th and 13th.
As they battle for that position, look at this entry. Sean Butler has started to close the gap. Last time by, he was a 10th of a second faster than the Toyota of Cameron Hearn. So now he will be closing in as we close in on the halfway point here, just 20 laps away from the halfway point here in the Scene Vault Podcast 200 tonight, presented by the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. Al, I don't know about you, but with Butler breathing down Hearn's neck and both of them running to the outside lane, I don't know where Sean Butler's going to be able to go, because do you take the chance to go down low? But you're going to start to chew the tires up if you go down there.
Yeah, but I've been watching Butler over the last 4 to 5 laps here. He kind of goes in high and he's like diamond in the truck. You see how he gets down lower off the corner than the 35 of Hearn? And a part of me is wondering if Hearn realized he had gotten up to a second lead, kind of backing it up now, or did he burn the good off of those tires as now Butler has caught him. He's at the back tailgate, taking a peek down low.
Wasn't able to make anything happen out of turn number 4 as we watch from over top here. You are watching the 35 of Cameron Hearn lead the 88 of Butler, but Butler was right there. He's going to take a look. This time he's not going to go as far down here in turn 3. Out of turn 4 they come, and it is going to be the outside carrying the momentum once again. Kyle Souza is down pit road in his Gen X Racing number 4. That is an unscheduled pit stop for the driver of the number 4. He was on the lead lap at the time that he entered pit road. And we stay green flag, and here comes Butler once again out of turn 4. He's just not going to be able to put the power down with the rear tires on that Silverado. That Toyota Tundra just rolling the top, doing exactly what he needs. Donald Bennett down to the inside, a lap down car. Call that the gentleman move there by Bennett as he got out of the way of your race leaders.
He does, but they're catching the last truck on the lead lap, the 938 Cody Levitt, working the high side of the speedway right in the line that Hearn is running. Now Butler is going to tuck back in line, trying to cool off those tires, as he definitely seems to be a little bit quicker right now. Levitt will pull to the inside, let the leaders go on by. Skelton quickly rolling in on the top 2 duo. Now Butler right to the back tailgate.
Will he be able to dive back down to the inside? Here he comes once again. You see that different line off the corner. Butler's going to try and trap Cameron Hearn, but they're going to go 3 wide down here into the corner. Dudley to the outside. Hearn was in the middle. Butler's going to stuff it down low, and they're able to make the move. 3 wide racing here at Bristol tonight for the Scene Vault Podcast 200.
Not something you say very often here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, 3 wide, but they were able to make it happen as they're still side by side, door to door. Now Butler with the nose out in front. He'll drive it in a little bit deep. He'll slide up, slide job on the 35 of Hearn, and that'll be Butler to your race lead on lap 90.
Yeah, for the first time, Sean Butler going to lead a lap here in the Hooters Scene Vault entry Need for Speed Motorsports. Now, though, it is going to be all James Skelton looking to try and get the Skittles entry here around the Abruzzi Sportswear of Cameron Hearn. That Skittles machine has a little damage. Remember when he got into the back there of the 42 of Max Theriault? Now it looks like Cameron Hearn just going to pull over. He will allow James Skelton to go right around the outside. I think Hearn maybe knows that he needs to save a little bit of tire here.
Yeah, remember last time down pit road, which was 33 laps to go for Cameron Hearn. Right sides only on that Abruzzi Raceway number 35. So these guys that he's racing that have caught him have taken 4. They came down pit road all together, but those right side only, maybe not working out just on this long green flag run, is now the number 2, Scene Vault number 2 of Buckley closing in on this battle to crack the top 3. DJ Anderson, Richard Murdoch, and Max Theriault right there as well.
So Cameron Hearn backing up here on this long run. Here comes Buckley. He's going to put the Scene Vault podcast entry down to the inside. He thought about it, jump back up in line. Now will he be able to get the momentum off the corner? Close quarters racing here for Buckley and Hearn. Buckley definitely has the faster car. 1/10 of a second faster to be exact last time by. And now DJ Anderson going to join the parade here at Bristol. Closing in on the halfway point. Look at Hearn. He went up the track there. I thought for a moment coming out of 4. The Abruzzi Sportswear number 35. Now he jumps it up into the wall.
Got in the wall, got in the side of the 51 of Anderson. That'll stack them all up behind him now. There's the 01 of Murdoch going to get trapped behind Hearn. And here comes Max Theriault. Theriault in that number 42. Working the inside of the racetrack, using the 35 as a pick. He'll move inside the top 6.
Yeah, as these guys all battle, it is Sean Butler out front here, just 2 laps away now, 1 lap away from that halfway marker. And the halfway bonus, I believe, is, I don't think we have one here tonight, Al, but these guys are racing like this could possibly be the last lap. Cameron Hearn is straight going backwards with the damage on that truck.
Yeah, he's working out. He's got Murdoch to the inside as they work down the backstretch here through turns 3 and 4. Buckley trying to close in. He is about 1.2 seconds off of Skelton, who is almost a second now. Sean Butler has just checked out. Is a side-by-side battle for your 4th spot. It'll be DJ Anderson on the outside. Max Theriault pressuring, working the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, as they approach that lap down truck there of Tony Strano. Strano right now running in the 17th spot, 1 lap down. The laps are clicking off fast here, and I'm taking a quick gander at it now. I'm putting the little thinking cap on for these drivers. 41, 42 laps on this fuel run for them. They can go about, call it about 20 to maybe 30 laps more. That's going to put them right on the edge. I think it's still going to be a 2-stop race here if we get to the green flag pit stops.
Yeah, and at Bristol, you want to go as late as possible as Anderson scraped the wall with his Baja Blast. Number 51, Alice Theriault, right to the back tailgate once again. There's a diamond off the corner. Theriault getting a look down low. But you want to wait as long as possible. You know you're going to lose at least 2 to 3 laps if you come down under green flag pit stops. And if the yellow comes out, you're in our world of hurt trying to get those laps back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So you got to stay out as long as possible. We are looking at about 20 laps, Roger, before we'll have to even think about that. A lot can happen as Theriault now drives alongside the 51 of Anderson.
And 3 wide right behind them. Richard Murdoch to the middle. He is going to be the cheese in the sandwich there. It's going to be Eric Johnson down to the bottom, and that was the 49 of Dudley that was stuck to the outside, and they were able to make that work. How many times can we go 3 wide here as Cameron Hearn approaches onto the back bumper of Robert Dudley? He'll go to the inside there as they go side by side. It'll be the Abruzzi Sportswear of Cameron Hearn being able to make that move, but it is all Sean Butler. He has checked out to a 2.1 second lead right now over the 86 of James Skelton, and then it's going to be about just under a second back. You're going to find the number 2 of Josh Buckley, but look at the storm that is brewing, running in the 4 spot. The man from Canada is going to be Max Theriault in the 42. He now finds himself back up to 4th. He was the pole sitter here when we started the race. Got spun from the lead as they worked upon lap traffic. Now Max is starting to really run down the number 2 of Josh Buckley.
There he was our pole speed sitter, so we know he's got a fast truck. It is now Christopher Rothrock going to go lap down. Next truck will be that Ream number 62 of Troutman. He'll run to the outside line being given to Sean Butler. So that'll put 12 truck away, put 11 trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, and with only 11 trucks on the lead lap, the next one will be Nathan Maurer, and he is not faring too well in his Bully Dog machine as we look off the back. There you see, Sean Butler is absolutely coming. You know, I believe it was over Christmas time when we had that special race here that these guys made me call. I believe it was it the Cross Class Clash, I think it was back then. Butler chose to drive himself into at that time it was the K&N car, and he actually ended up being able to battle with the Cup car of today, the Gen 6, and the Xfinity car with a very, very much slower, at the time, K&N car here at Bristol. So Butler is no slouch, and now it looks like Terriot has got around the scene vault number 2 of Josh Buckley, so that'll put Max Terriot now running in the 3rd spot.
And the driver right in front of him is Skelton. And remember earlier in the race, Terriot was leading. Skelton got into the back bumper. You think Terriot possibly remembers that?
Well, it's one thing to remember it, and then it's another thing to go ahead and do it. I believe, though, you know, a lot of people look at Max Terriot here in the red light racing division. We'll call it a division or league or series, whatever. Terriot's probably looked upon as one of the most classy drivers who won't go out and ruffle the feathers, but here comes, I believe that is Cameron Hearn, and Al, he has already pitted. He's short pitted here at Bristol.
He did Hearn out on fresher tires. You see how much of a speed difference there is. So right now he's got to be careful as he makes contact back to your 4th spot. As now he works on Buckley as they work down the straightaway here under Troutman. So a whole gaggle of cars racing for your 2nd through 4th positions.
Yeah, they all kind of jacked it up there, but they were able to hang on to all of it. So good racing, good driving by all of them as Max Terriot takes back over the 3rd spot. He will set his eyes upon the Skittles 86 of James Skelton. He does have 4 fresher, well, we'll call it 4 tires. They both have 59 laps on the tires, but it's 2 tires for Skelton versus the 4 tires of Terriot. I think the 4 tires here at Bristol are going to win all day.
They are. Terriot now getting back to the back bumper of Skelton as they work off the corner. He'll work to the high side. Skelton's going to just move over, work the bottom. He might be coming to pit road or just sees how much faster Terriot is and just lets him go. So Terriot up to your number 2 spot. Buckley now going to work to the outside with his speed. The Scene Vault Podcast number 2 around the outside of the number 86 of Skelton as that's the battle for 3rd.
Al, how hard is it when we come here to Bristol? We've been turning now. This is our 62nd lap under the green flag conditions for these drivers. How hard is it when you're turning lap times in the low 15s, mid 15s, to be able to find which side of the track that your pit stall is on?
Yeah, right. That's a good point, Roger. You got to remember where you pitted. I believe they have about 20 pit stalls on the front stretch, and then everybody else is going to work on the back stretch. So you got to keep that in mind. A lot of guys, you probably, when you come to Bristol, don't think you're going to make green flag pit stops, but it looks like we are right on the cusp of it as Cameron Hearn has now gotten around the 88 of Butler. So interesting to see when the next pit cycle will happen. Is everybody still out in the speedway waiting to see if that yellow flag will come out or if they're going to have to make this green flag pit stop. But very difficult as a driver to figure out and remember which side of the pit racetrack you are when you have to come down for these green flag stops.
The last driver on the lead lap right now is Michael Trevarthen. He has himself a pretty good gap, though, over your leader of Sean Butler. It is a little around 3 seconds. Donald Bennett still out there roaming around on the bottom. As you see, Trevarthen and Cameron Hearn go around. The 913 of Donald Bennett has got a little bit of damage. I believe here comes Michael Trevarthen, though. He is going to come down pit road. Maybe this will start the green flag cycle.
Javarthan's the only driver to come down pit road. Now working lap 67, going to be working 60 out since the last time your race leaders have been on pit road, as Butler will continue to stay out onto the racetrack right now, clicking off lap 129. So just next time by will be 70 laps to go. So it could be a one-stop race. Go as far as you can. If this stays green, they might possibly be able to make it. Looks like Butler maybe getting ready to come down to pit road.
Max Terrialt's down on pit road, and a big mistake by the driver out of Las Vegas, Cody Levitt, came down the wrong pit side. Remember how we were just talking about how hard it could be? Cody Levitt missed the right side of pit road and then ended up going down the back straightaway when he was pitted on the front stretch. So it'll be a 4-tire stop, though, for Max Terrialt. They dropped the jack. It'll be a 14.3 second stop for the man out of Canada. He is back onto the track. Now here comes Sean Butler. Butler is down pit road. It's going to be right side tires on the Hooters. Need for Speed Motorsports entry, Gen X Racing. 4 tires the distance here, just right at that pit window where they might be able to make it on fuel. I believe everybody who pits from here on out will be good to go.
Yeah, right now your race leader was the 2 of Buckley as he brings the Scene Vault podcast into a spot, hits his marks perfectly. The crew round to the right side going on right side tires. On here, the drop jack, work around to the left side. Full tank of fuel going into this Toyota Tundra. 4 tires in a way here on pit road, 14.3 seconds.
So a quick stop, but that's going to turn things over to the 01 here of Richard Murdoch. Brandon Minto are yet to come down pit road. We're also waiting on Nathan Maurer and Christopher Rothrock. Here comes the driver of the 01 of Richard Murdoch. He'll give up the lead. Here comes Nathan Maurer. That's going to leave Brandon Minto now the race lead. He will be your final driver to come down pit road in the Barstool Sports Radio 20 here tonight. Will now give up the race lead, and that's going to hand things back over to this guy. It's going to be Cameron Hearn. He will take over the race lead, and he's been out there for 26 laps already.
Okay, he's going to have to split this segment in half again, where it was impressive to note we had a few yellows that aided that, but they were able to go 73 laps that last cycle on a tank of fuel. So, and if you look at the very top side of the speedway, marbles are starting to build up. So if you miss your entry, you're going to get those marbles, and that wall is going to come out and bite you.
Looking at it right now, though, who is left on the lead lap here after green flag pit cycles? It's going to be the Dirty Mo Radio 33 of Eric Johnson. He is the last car, and he is running in the 7th position. DJ Anderson is 6th right ahead of him. Then it is James Skelton right ahead of him, and Josh Buckley, a bunch of these drivers, 4th through that 7th position, all within about a second and a half of each other here tonight at Bristol as we close in on 60 laps to go. Will Cameron Hearn be able to play the pit strategy perfectly? I'm not sure, Al, because remember, he pitted 30 laps ago. 30, that's 92 laps of tank, 93 laps on fuel. I don't think the cards are going to play in Cameron Hearn's favor unless we have a caution flag.
No, and the difference in tires right now is 0.3 of a second. Last time by was a 6.61. And then for Sean Butler, a 2.79. So 3 to 4/10 faster is that Hooters number 88 truck. We saw him once he got the lead checked out. He is racing down Cameron Hearn. But Hearn on those much older tires. They are in the same corner now. Hearn in heavy lap traffic as they work around the 43 Estrano, as they'll go 3 wide to the corners. That'll be the 88 of Butler working underneath Dudley as well. As the next one is Troutman. So just about a quarter of a corner separating your top 2.
Well, as we watch that, let's go ahead, Al. What do you say we turn it up just a little bit? Just like that, race fans, a caution flag is going to wave here at Bristol as we were just away. As we were turning it up, it looked like Robert Dudley may be banking it off the wall there just a little bit. That's going to bring out the 5th caution flag of the night here in the Scene Vault Podcast 200, presented by the Red Light Racing. And so as they seem to have gathered it up already, let's take it back on the Turn 3 Racing replay and see if we can find out what just went on. We just caught it out the camera, glimpse just barely. Well, let's watch it back. You see Dudley get up into the outside wall. Minto was coming around on the 4 fresh tires. Leo Bornage nowhere to go for him. So call it about a 3-car incident here on lap 145 tonight. With just 56 laps to go, brings out a yellow flag. Let's throw it back here one more time if we can. I believe we can ride on board with the 11 of Leo Bornage. This is the FedEx Express onboard camera. There you see Dudley up into the outside wall. Just no time for Leo Bornage to react, and unfortunately the 20 of Minto just going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Tough break as our 5th caution has flown here in the Scene Vault Podcast 200. On here, Dudley's going to bring, or the Bornage will bring that battered up FedEx package down pit road, and I haven't got a package from FedEx that quite looks as rough as that truck does. He's not had the night that he has liked, but right now that'll leave us with 10 trucks on the lead lap. It looks like Trevarthen was the lucky dog, and everybody but the top 3 has come down pit road to service their truck. They should be able to go the rest of the distance from this point, but Sean Butler, Josh Buckley, and Richard Murdoch staying out on the speedway, and James Skelton taking 2 tires on this pit stop. We saw how that worked for Cameron Hearn, but right now we are working. We're going to restart with under 50 laps to go.
And before we hit that restart, we'll be right back here to Bristol for the Scene Vault Podcast 200, tonight presented by Red Light Racing.
If you love
What to do is hit that man in the face.
When people thought I was scared, when in fact I was just educated.
Welcome back here to Bristol, Tennessee. You're watching the Scene Vault Podcast 200 right here for the Red Light Racing. It is the Scrambler series tonight. They have out the Gander Outdoor trucks back in action here. You know, we got to thank all the guys over at the Scene Vault Podcast for all they do for motorsports. They have Squire Hall of Excellence on their side of things, so they bring you all the NASCAR news that you need, podcast style. But tonight, it's all about iRacing. And out front, it is going to be the 88 of Sean Butler. To his inside, it'll be his teammate, the number 2 of Buckley. And look behind them. They got, last time we were here at Bristol, Richard Murdoch running there in 3rd.
Yeah, Murdoch staying out onto the speedway. The first car that came down pit road is that Skittles number 86 truck. Is Chevy Pace is going to pull down the Silverado on the pit road. And we're going to go back green flag racing. 50 laps of action left to go here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. As the truck will take the left-hand turn down pit road, and it'll give the lead to Sean Butler and Josh Buckley on the front row. They'll step on the gas pedal, and we're back underway.
So as everybody comes up to speed here, it'll be the 2 teammates battling for the lead, and that inside lane not gonna get it done. Buckley gonna lose the battle for the lead, and now it's gonna be the 86 of Skelton there pouncing while he can, as he has the newer tires. It may be only 2 tires on the 86 of Skelton, but 2 tires are still better than used tires as he pulls even down the back straightaway into turn 3. They go battle for that 2nd spot.
Side by side for that battle for your 2nd spot. Buckley on the inside with the advantage slightly over Skelton, but the tire on the move is the 35 of Cameron Hearn. Restarted in the 7th position, now trying to work inside the top 3 as he'll pull alongside Buckley now as they all try to chase down the 88 of Butler.
Well, does Cameron Hearn. Oh, look at Buckley. He's going to squeeze in there between Hearn and Terrill back to the outside. So he'll find a home running in the 4th spot. But look at Richard Murdoch. He is dropping like a rock. I think he teaches a little bit of, sideways. I was going to say he teaches school nowadays, but maybe he teaches a driving school, that is, because what a whale of a save there by Richard Murdoch. He is now going to have to deal with DJ Anderson in the Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Need for speed 51, because now Anderson has that Mountain Dew Baja Blast ripping the lip here tonight.
There, take a peek down underneath Buckley now. That's the battle for your 4th position as they work through turns 3 and 4. Come across the stripe, and they'll be side by side. Dario working the inside of the speedway. He's getting a nice drive up off. Remember, Buckley stayed out underneath that yellow, much fresher tires on that Maxime, number 42, as he'll take over the sole position of the 4th spot.
Yeah, the Storm from the north once again coming to the front here. He is going to move. Oh, contact there from Buckley to the 42 of Terriot. That's going to allow DJ Anderson now to look to the inside. Anderson does have the newer tires of the two. Will he be able to take them out and do Baja Blast Car? Oh, almost contact that time out of turn number 4. But they will go still side by side back down into turn number 1. Who will be able to break the stalemate just behind them? It's Eric Johnson and Michael Trevarthen. They're battling for the 8th and 9th position, as it looks like Buckley will live right now into that 5th position.
He'll hold on to it as Anderson right there behind him. But the battle is behind him as the 33 of Eric Johnson and the 31 of Trevarthen are battling it out for your 8th and 9th position. Is to remember, Trevarthen just got back on the lead lap. He was a lucky dog recipient on the latest yellow as well. We are under 40 laps to go in the Scene Vault Podcast 200.
Yeah, it is all Sean Butler right now. He is out front. There you see your top 3. It's Butler, Skelton, and Hearn here right now. Your top 3 contestants right behind them, though. Here comes Max Terriot. I'm looking at it. Last time by, he was actually even with your leader, so didn't pick up too much ground last time by. Let's see this time by at the line. Will he be any quicker, as he is actually 4th quickest out of your top 4 right now. Buckley still hanging on to that 5th position.
Anderson trying to find a way around the number 2 as they work through the corners up here, working the very extreme high side of the speedway. Your top 5 running nose to tail. That time is the Skelton trying to find a little bit more grip about higher over Butler as they race down in the turn number 3.
Yeah, a little bit farther back, Brandon Minto runs in the 11th spot as he is looking to try and get under that 71 of Maurer. They are not racing for position. Maurer is running 13th, 2 laps down. Minto is running 11th, the first car, 1 lap 10, the last truck on the lead lap, as this time by to be 34 laps to go here at Bristol.
Laps are winding down very quickly now as Skelton has settled in about 2/10 behind your race leader. Butler's doing that arcing line that he was earlier, getting a nice run down off the corner as they were all working around the speedway. Now Skelton's going to pick up some ground. 2 truck lengths separating your top 2.
Now, I don't know if you noticed it, but it looks like everybody is trying to go up there and ride as high as they can here at Bristol. Except Butler, he is not. He is giving himself that buffer. So in case something were to happen, if he kind of missed his braking point here, which can easily happen, it's really a momentum track at Bristol and a rhythm track, and you get into that rhythm. But if you step over it, you're going to wind up in the wall. Just the slightest, a millisecond lifting too late puts you out into the outside wall. And Butler right now has his groove about a car length off the wall.
He does, and that's kind of, he's keeping them at bay as the Skelton and Hearn have kind of done in the accordion. They'll close in, and then Butler will stretch it out just a little bit, then they close back in. And this time by 30 laps to go. When they cross the stripe, it'll be 29 at the stripe this time by. It'll be Butler showing the way. Hearn quickly made his way to the 3rd spot and is kind of stalled out right there. Dario kind of back there as well, just a little bit off this top trio.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time with these drivers. It's one thing to get there and run nose to tail. It's a whole nother ball game to try and go down there and get around these guys, because if you go down to the bottom, you know, Max Terriot is still back here lurking in the background. If you start to race, it's going to slow you down. It's going to chew the tires up, and then Max is going to get into this group, and he is going to start to pounce. And it'll be 27 laps this time by, as now it looks like that 86 of Skelton got a little antsy there. He thought to go to the bottom, and he lost a little bit of ground. It's going to be a 1 truck length lead, truck and a half now for Sean Butler, as he'll get 26 to go this time by.
Caddy of Brucey Racewear number 35 of Cameron Hearn all over the back bumper, trying to rip open that Skittles package, trying to find a way around it as they work through the corner. Now they're all on top of Sean Butler, who's got heavy lap traffic right there in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Dustin Gainey and Cody Levitt right now will be the next trucks that they work upon, as we're on board here with Cameron Hearn in the 35. It's going to be just 24 laps to go. Laps are just clicking by very fast here tonight, and with the pace that your race leaders are kind of setting down here as they get around Dustin Gainey and his Chick-fil-A.
Work around Levitt's Hooters machine on the bottom of the speedway, having a little bit of electrical issues. Is at 9:38. Everything's sorted out now as Butler opens up to another 2-car length advantage over Skelton off of turn number 2.
Skelton had a little bit of an issue there in his Skittles 86 machine. It looked like he got out of shape, and maybe the tires are really starting to fade now for James Skelton. We know he has a very fast short run truck. Now that we're halfway into a fuel run and a tire run, it looks like Skelton is starting to lose the handle on that Toyota, and Cameron Hearn just has nowhere to go with his 35. It'll be under 20 to go next time by.
How patient do you be if you're in the 35? He's locked into the show with a win earlier this season, but you know he wants to get up here. Everybody wants to win at Bristol, and they work through the corner. Skelton kind of holding up the 35. It looks like Hearn just a little bit quicker, and he knows that the 42 Ontario quickly closing in on this battle.
Yeah, as they start to race for that second position a little bit harder, you see Sean Butler now opens up about a 5-car length gap here over that second position. And here comes Max Terriol. He is only about 3-car lengths off the back bumper of our third place runner here of Hearn. So it is Butler, Skelton, Hearn, and Terriol. You can see them all right there in the picture as they come down the front straightaway. It'll be 17 laps to go next time by at the line for these guys, and the pace is still sitting there at about 15.5 seconds for everybody. Last time by, though, Terriol, being the slowest out of the 4 once again.
They're right there off the back bumper, trying to keep it that time. The 35's going to let Skelton know, I am ready to go. Gives him a little bit of a love tap through turns 1 and 2. See if he gets there in 3 and 4. A little bit lower of a line. Now they're starting to close back in on Sean Butler, who is your race leader.
Oh, more contact there possibly in the corner from Cameron Hearn to the back bumper there of James Skelton. Now Max Terriol officially is there on the back bumper. They have started running back down Sean Butler as they get 15 laps to go here tonight in the Scene Vault Podcast 200, presented by Red Light Racing. So it is a 4-truck race as they're going to work to the inside here on Robert Dudley. Butler's going to be able to get around him in a good spot. Everybody else going to have to try and check up a little bit coming out of the corner. Didn't want to push their trucks. Oh, over the kind of edge there for Cameron Hearn. So is James Skelton, and Hearn is going to lose a position. He's going to fall back now to 4th.
Yeah, that will hurt the Abruzzi race car number 35 of Hearn. He'll see the 42 of Theriot back into the 3rd spot. Theriot's truck really starting to turn really well. He'll work to the outside of Skelton, who got loose off the corner. Skelton's going to move to your 3rd spot. Here comes Cameron Hearn trying to fill that void. The door will get slammed. We'll have to check his forehead. There's a little bit of a love tap by Cameron Hearn saying, I did not appreciate that, as they come off of turn number 2.
Now they go side by side down the back straightaway. Here comes the 35 of Cameron Hearn. He'll look down to the bottom in turn number 3. It looks like he will now take over the 3rd position, and he will try to go back now and run down with just 10.5 laps to go here at Bristol to see if he...
It's there. 2 car lengths separating your top 2 as they work around the slice of the 80s, 98 of Oldani, as they work down into turn number 3.
Right now, looking like I'm looking at the timing and scoring to see who was the fastest truck out there on track, and it was Sean Butler. About, call it a 10th, if that, last time by at the line. Timing and scoring says he's the quickest truck on track, but it really looks like that 42 of Max Terriol is coming. 8 laps to go this time at the line. That time by it was Max Terriol, a 10th of a second quicker than the Hooter Scene Vault 88 Chevy. And here it comes. It is now going to be the Ohio driver of Sean Butler versus the man from the north. He is there. He is knocking on the back door. Al, 7 laps to go in lap traffic in front of your leaders.
Yeah, Theriot is there. He's working to the bottom now. The 9 to 15. Again, he's going the other way. Rothrock going to the bottom as well. It's now Cameron Hearn has reeled them back in. It's a 3-car horse with just 5 laps to go.
Well, 1 lap too soon. Now just 6 laps to go. 5's coming next time by. But here it is still going to be Terriol looking to the inside. When, if you were Max Terriol, do you make the move here on Sean Butler is going to be the question, because this time by Al, 5 fingers in the air here from your flagman. Just 5 more laps to go.
Theriot is there knocking on the back door. The storm from the north working to the inside now of Butler. He knows that Cameron Hearn has reeled them back in, and Cameron Hearn drives it in deep in that time out the corner. Daryl right to the inside. They'll be side by side down to the turn number 1.
Yeah, real close quarter there. Almost the right front to the left rear from Max to Sean Butler, but they're going to go side by side down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Butler's going to have to run higher than he has ran all night long. Theriault not able to get him at the line. It'll be 3 laps to go here at Bristol, and it'll be Sean Butler, Max Theriault, and Cameron Hearn all right there under the blanket.
Yeah, Theriault's got to watch out the back bumper as much as looking out the front window as they work out the corner. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air.
Sean Butler disappears for just a moment as the popsicle sticks did fly last time by at the line. It is Sean Butler, Max Theriault, Cameron Hearn still. Here comes Theriault looking to the inside here once again. He's trying to make Butler run as high front. Theriault peeking to the inside. It's going to be the last chance here for Max Theriault. Contact between Theriault and Butler. Theriault's actually going to check up, and he's going to let it drag race. Butler going to door slam at the line, and it'll be Sean Butler winning tonight in your Scene Vault Podcast 200.
Great driving there. What an exciting finish. Little contact between Max Theriault and Sean Butler through turns 3 and 4. Theriault, being the gentleman from the north, lets the 88 gather it back in, and they drag race to the line, slamming off each other, rubbing his racing. How about a finish like that, ladies and gentlemen, here for the Red Light Scrambler series in the Scene Vault Podcast 200, as we will step away one moment and we'll catch up with your top 3 momentarily.
If you love Winston Cup racing,
You got to read Winston Cup Scene.
And welcome to the Scene Vault Podcast, your source for all things NASCAR history.
But in that moment, all I wanted to do was hit that man in the face.
When people thought I was scared, when in fact I was just educated.
Well, welcome back here, race fans, to the Scene Vault Podcast 200. Tonight presented by the Red Light Racing Series, racing out of turn 4 to park somebody in victory lane. We have caught up with the driver of the 88 of Sean Butler. Sean, you win another one and you lock yourself into the playoffs, but, I mean, it's a win, but it might be bittersweet.
Yeah, I mean, that was some awesome racing with Max. Wasn't expecting a bump, but I was surprised I was able to hold on to it and keep the win, but that was a heck of a race. I definitely didn't want to see that caution. I was way out front, but, you know, yeah, I'm sweating. I'm freaking, I'm so tired.
Well, they got to make you work for it, Sean. They can't just hand you a plaque or a silver platter all the time. These boys got to make you work for it, and you did that here tonight, though. You led 95 laps, almost half of this race. You parked this Need for Speed Hooters entry out front.
Yeah, it was a great, you know, just a little strategy. I messed up in qualifying, and I was just trying to take it easy, and I got a couple of nice restarts on the outside, and that got me up to the front, and then just green flag racing from there, and great pit stop by the crew, and yeah, just I wasn't expecting to run out of gas. I ran out of gas on the cooldown laps, but I really thought more guys would stay out there. I wasn't expecting everyone because we were just on pit road, but overall, great race, good win by the Hooters team, and hopefully we turn this into many more this season.
Well, I know you're a little rusty at this, Sean, but you know, here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, we like to roll out this red carpet here in Victory Lane for you. We like to hand you the mic, and who do you got to thank for winning the Scene Vault Podcast 200 tonight here at Bristol?
I want to give a shout out to the guys over at Scene Vault Podcast coming on board for the sponsoring this race. That was pretty awesome. Couldn't ask for a better finish, I think. Thank Max and Cameron for running clean, and we had good times up there. Thank my teammates over at Need for Speed, Buckley, DJ, and James. We always kind of bouncing ideas all freaking race, trying to make sure we come up with ideas. And I don't know what happened to James there at the end. He was running second there for a while. I'm not sure if he hit the wall or something. I have no idea, but it was a solid race for us. Buckley was up there winning, you know, leading a bunch of laps, and I don't know where everyone finished, but you know, it was a good race for us as a team, and look forward to next week.
Well, there you heard it from your winner here tonight in the Scene Vault Podcast 200. Sean Butler going to lock himself in. Al, I believe you have the man from the north standing by.
I do. I'm sitting down here, and I don't think he's too happy to see me for, it feels like every week you're just that short. Max, great run tonight. Started on the pole, finished second, but your race was very exciting and a lot of adversity to come back here in your number 2 position.
Oh yeah, that was a beat up truck at the end. I didn't think I had the speed to come back through the field. Had some also some engine damage, and I think the tire wear that came in on the last run made a difference. I was able to conserve more than the front guys, and like you said, couldn't get any closer to first without being first.
Well, it was definitely an exciting race. You started off, as you mentioned, with the damage. Do you think that helped conserve your tire wear if you were down on power? Do you think that helped you on that long run at the end?
No, that's what I practiced last night, and I think I had it dialed in for tonight. Early on, got behind the pack after an early caution, early spin, but I know it took my time to get back up front and maybe a couple of laps short.
Well, you definitely put on one heck of a show for us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network in the Scene Vault 200. Who makes it all possible for you here once again tonight in the Red Light Scrambler Series?
Yeah, the people supporting me are my girlfriend, my friend Max and Max Emitting, and shout out to Josh James and Richard for running this league. Congrats to Sean on this win, and we'll see you next week, wherever it is.
Yeah, speaking of next week, we head to Pocono, and we're back in the Xfinity car. How do you fare at that racetrack?
Hopefully no cautions, because those pace laps are really long, so hopefully green flag run from start to the end, and that's it.
All right, there you have it, Roger. Max Stereo finishing in your runner-up spot, just by a bumper cap here tonight to Sean Butler in the Vault 200. And I believe you're caught up with our third place finisher in the Abruzzi Raceway, number 35 of Cameron Hearn.
Yeah, I have caught up with Cameron Hearn. Cameron, a disappointed look on your face here tonight at Bristol for the Scene Vault Podcast 200. This truck looked like it could have been one to park in victory lane here tonight. It led 39 laps. It looks like maybe you just ran out of time to get back to the front.
Yeah, I don't know if I was the fastest, but I felt like I was top 5. I did a crazy short pit, hoping the caution came out, and it actually came out perfect. Then at the end, just racing hard. Me, Max, Sean, and I think James, we kind of wore our stuff out a little bit, and Max was so good at saving tires in the long run. I was waiting for the move. I'm surprised he waited till last corner to go for it, but I was hoping both those guys would take each other out and kind of steal one. But overall, third place finish. I think I started around 20th, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you know, it just kind of adds on to the string of good finishes here. Now this would be the, I say good finishes as in you've had now. This is going to be your 5th top 5. I was looking at Las Vegas real quick on maybe that wasn't such a good finish. I guess call it a rebound here then at Bristol.
Yeah, awesome. I actually made it on pit road without speeding, so that's a plus. It's a really slow pit road, so that's a positive headed into Pocono next week. Pocono's one of my favorite tracks, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Pocono, but how about it in the Xfinity car? We know a lot of guys really like to take the Gander Outdoor trucks to Pocono and run around that big 2.6. I guess you call it an oval?
Oval? Yeah, I don't know what you would call it, but Xfinity car, just by what I've known in the past, is a little bit tighter than I like it. So tight car definitely can tear your tires up faster than normal. So it's one of those tracks where people like Max, Sean, the guys who can be fast and save their stuff, are going to be contenders, and hopefully to ride with them, beginning of the race, and kind of learn some stuff to help me at the end.
Well, next week at Pocono, but this week was here at Bristol. Another good points night for you, Cameron, in this Abruzzi race. We're 35 tonight. Who do you got to thank, though, that makes it all possible to come to the track every Monday?
Yeah, Red Light Racing Series, great league. The Scene Vault coming on this race. Turn 3 Racing Network's the premier sim racing network in iRacing. want to thank my wife who allows me to do this and yell at the computer screen for a couple hours a night, and just all my teammates at BRA that don't race here, but show me some support in practice. And just look forward to next week, and appreciate everybody tuning in and watching and the broadcast.
Well, there you heard it, Al, from your third place finisher. And Al, he just dropped a hint. You're not the only one that yells at the screen.
That is, I don't believe him. I felt like I was the only one that does that.
Well, I don't know about all that, but what I can tell you, Al, is 200 laps are in the book here for the Scene Vault podcast. 200 at Bristol tonight. Sean Butler walks away with leading 95 of those laps. It came down to a last lap bump by Max Terrill, and then a drag race to the start-finish line. Max, being the gentleman that he is, you know, he doesn't try to ruffle any feathers out there. He got into the back of Sean Butler and then kind of backed off himself. He could have stayed flat to the floor and turned around the 88, but kind of let Butler able to gather his truck up and then drag race it out from turn 4 to the start-finish line, and Butler will win this one. Cameron Hearn was sitting back there lurking in the weeds. It just wasn't meant to be tonight for the 35.
No, but next week we head from Thunder Valley to the honeymooners' capital of the United States, and that is Pocono at the Big Triangle. What turn for? We don't know, because we're on the Turn 3 Racing Network, but I am excited to get there with these guys. They put on an excellent show here tonight for the Scene Vault Podcast 200, and what about shout out to those for guys stepping up, coming on board here, sponsoring tonight's event for the Red Light Scrambler series. And definitely Google them, download their podcasts, and listen to them. They have a great insight in the world of motorsports, and really can't thank them enough for making all of this possible for us here tonight from Thunder Valley.
Yeah, the Scene Vault, you know, our hats are off to them. They are the premier podcast for all things NASCAR, all things racing. Head on over to the Scene Vault podcast. You can find it over there on Apple, or you can go just type in over on the regular podcast. You can just type in the Scene Vault and find what they have this week. Maybe Dale Jr. will be back on the podcast. You never know. Or Dale Jarrett, Ned Jarrett. They have been guys who have stopped by to be on that podcast, so it's good to watch and see what those guys all have to say. But next week, we are headed to Pocono. Al, I'll meet you there. You're from New York. I'm from Pennsylvania. It's halfway in between us. I'll meet you there for that one. It is going to be the Green Forest Tree Supply 162 next week from the Tricky Triangle in northeast Pennsylvania. But that's going to do it here from Bristol. We will catch you next week for the Green Forest Tree Supply. You had just watched the Scene Vault Podcast 200 here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
If you love Winston Cup racing,
You got to read Winston Cup Scene.
Welcome to the Scene Vault Podcast, your source for all things NASCAR history.
But in that moment, all I wanted to do was hit that man in the face.
When people thought I was scared,